Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Silverquill Lecturer. For 4 colorless and 1 white, it's a creature core wizard 3/3 with creature spells you cast have demonstrate. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Each copy becomes a token. So for anyone who's been following this channel for a while, you'll probably know that one of my favorite mechanics for Commander is Demonstrate. It's only been printed on 6 cards, I think, so far. And then the 12th Doctor, of course, which was a really cool design, but there's just something really appealing about this mechanic to me. The fact that you can double up on your own stuff whilst also making the game really interesting and political by giving your opponent stuff and helping out a player that might be behind is just an incredibly sweet ability. However, the 12th Doctor ended up disappointing me a little bit because it was a little bit hard to use and it actually pushed you towards basically playing a suspend deck, which is not the most fun in my experience from what I've played so far. So I ended up abandoning the deck really quickly, although I'm sure that I could build it in a different way if I really wanted to, and there's probably some cool ways that you can build that. This addresses a lot of issues that I had with the Doctor, and it's because you have a lot more control with Silverquill Lecturer about when the trigger is going to happen. You're not only going to be able to copy the first spell each turn for a start, you're copying each creature spell you cast, which is huge. Should you want to, of course. Demonstrate is nice because you don't actually have to copy anything if you don't want to, which will often be the case. You might want to not give your opponents a copy of certain creatures, which is totally fair. And people will immediately dismiss this as a group hug card because you're giving your opponents resources, but I think it's so much more than that. It's a really cool political card because it can really help a player catch up if they're really far behind in the game, and it'll help you make alliances with other players. You can be like, who wants a copy of a creature? And then whoever agrees to it will have a measure of goodwill towards you, or you might even get an agreement about not attacking each other, and in the meantime, you're doubling up your own resources as well. So this is just incredibly solid when you consider the fact that you can use it creature after creature after creature. Not only that, but you can also go a different meaner route and play it in a deck such as Zedru, where you want to be giving things away to your opponents and start giving them the copies that you create yourself, as well as the extra copies that they're already getting by themselves, which have a negative effect. Of course, the copies they get from Demonstrate are not going to actually trigger Zedru, but still, it's a great way to give your opponents cards that they might not want to have in their deck, since they don't really get a choice about copying the spell. You get to decide. The 5 original Demonstrate cards were all sorceries, and they were all very good. Obviously, some were better than others. The black one is absolutely insane, Incarnation Technique, but most of them were powerful, particularly if you ran them in the right deck. They're not going to go in the most cutthroat or powerful decks ever. That's clearly not the case. However, for people who like interactive, fun, and different games, this card is going to absolutely shine. I've got a deck that I'm going to be doing a deck tech on very soon, based on Corona False God, where Corona is going to be switching around and around, and I'm going to be playing a bunch of creatures that end up getting donated or passed around at different opponents, and this just is going to fit perfectly in that deck because you can play your Corona, for example, and then everybody's going to get a copy of Corona. They're all going to switch around every turn cycle, so none of them are going to get sacrificed to the legendary rule, and it's just absolutely insane. It just opens so many different avenues because we've never really had a card that does this before, that can force your opponents to get token copies of creatures you play. It's a really cool and unique effect, and I love when they move out of the box with designs, and of course it has Demonstrate, which is my favorite mechanic, so I'm absolutely going to love this card, and I hope it doesn't become very expensive, although I don't think it will, because as mentioned, most people will dismiss it as a group hug card. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think though? Do you disagree with me, or do you think I got it right? Let me know in the comment section below. I always make sure to read all of your comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care.